Thank you, Mr. LaRoche. It has become a student tradition at Vestal High School graduation ceremonies to celebrate with beach balls. So, after the next two graduation speakers, I will be providing time for our students to celebrate. I'm sure we're curious about what appropriate beach balls you brought today. Then we can move on with the individual student recognitions. We have two outstanding speakers today. It is my pleasure to introduce the first. He is our valedictorian, Colin Blue.
Now, as a math student, I like to notice patterns in my life. And as I was reflecting upon my 18 years, I noticed something that always repeats itself, almost the law of life that perhaps some of you can relate to. That when I think I know what's going to happen, I'm always wrong. I used to want to go to Princeton a lot. The place was really nice, and I was pretty sure at the time that if I got in, I would go. And after a while, Duke University did the same thing. The weather was nice there too. Well, the time came this April, and I got into both places, and I still like them both. But while there are reasons why I declined both places, I never ever thought that Yale was going to end up being my choice. It was that, when I first visited, I had mixed opinions, but eventually, I grew up, I changed, and so did my opinions. Even the speech was changed last minute. I was originally going to give a really long, serious address that was about over 1,200 words long, and I didn't think anyone wanted to take a nap. So. Well, even more interesting than what doesn't go to plan is what happens that we don't expect. Just a light example, I guess. Once I had this sort of an informal contest on Facebook with inbox messages, and it was sort of to see who could write the longest message. And we went over the 10,000 character limit a couple times, and in retrospect, it was pretty dumb. But sometimes I think that it was probably a time investment, because after that, I finished all my tight school projects in about half the time. Well, this can't be really an excuse to be on Facebook all the time, but it just shows that even positive consequences can spring out of unwise decisions. Seemingly irrelevant bits of knowledge come up all the time, too. Steve Jobs once described how he took a calligraphy class for fun in college, and it didn't really help him at all for many years until he designed the fonts for the operating system, Apple, and basically his knowledge of calligraphy helped him design the wonderful fonts we know today, or else I guess we'd be stuck with Times New Roman or something. So then I can't tell you how many times my random decision to learn French about 4 years ago has helped me in my past 4 years, including on my college essay. And I was truly amazed when I was Googling Lady Gaga or something, and one of the suggestions was Lady Gaga hermaphrodite. So I always thought that the word was something you only learn in biology class, but obviously it has penetrated into my daily life too. Now that I've told you that things almost never go to plan, I'm not saying that setting goals is useless, because they are essential. They set a direction for your future, and they motivate what you do. But the most important thing is that you have to be open to their revision and be accepting when they don't work the way you want them to. Failures can be something you can learn from, but they may also be a step in a better direction. They may remind you that your original plan was not going to work. If you do ever feel the need to revise your future plans, give it some serious thought and decide whether you can change them for the better. I seem set on studying math or chemistry, but I always keep an open mind because I know I don't know the whole story behind those fields. For example, I don't want to be stuck in a lab for 15 hours a day, as much as I love chemistry. You're never really sure about your career as a student, and that's why you get a broad education. So you have the tools you need to look for better paths to follow. Knowledge truly gives you the power to open new opportunities, as well as to discover more about yourself. One of your ultimate goals that you will ever set is your career, as it will define your place in society. There are so many to choose from. It can be meaningful to others, to the community, or even to humanity. But most importantly, it has to be meaningful to you. While anyone can tell you how a job can touch others' lives, only you can decide whether it is right for yourself. Now, I'm not going to deny that money is an important factor, and that is one compromise you will have to make between your passions and the demands of society. You know, I like to draw molecules of the drugs you can buy. They're fun to draw, but I wouldn't be able to do this for a living because there's no place for me, and I would go nowhere. It's still fun though. But overall, money should never be the reason why you're stuck doing something you don't like. Because once you live for money, you really lose the point of life. Money can only provide empty happiness that comes with possession. But to feel accepted by society, loved by others, and uplifted by challenges that you care about, creates a happiness that is far beyond what can be created by just having things. And this, I feel, is what we are born to strive for, and this is what you should aim for in your future. So in the end, life just seems so paradoxical, so many elements that don't fit. You must set goals with an expectation that they may never come true. You choose a job based on what is important to you, but then you are paid based on how important it is to others. Your personality is influenced by the people and places you interact with, yet you must develop a unique identity that you control. Adults tell you not to rush through life, and they are right. But the same people will set deadlines that you struggle to meet. And lastly, too little knowledge will make it hard to make wise decisions, but too much will cause the same problem. With just one clock, you can never be sure if you have the right time. But with two, you don't know which one is right. These are just a few of the problems that we will all have to face with. And I'm excited to find out how each of us will find a balance in these contradictory variables. So congratulations, Vestal's class of 2010. I hope all of you are honored to be graduating with such a diverse and genuine group of people. I can certainly say it has been my pleasure to have spent so many years with you. Now I can only wish the best to each of you as you move on to your future. So thank you.